Go live. Bam. Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the first rendition of the Music Money Makeover show. Thank you all for coming out. I'm working on some technical difficulties here with the camera and the mic, but I mean, if things are clear, let me know. I'm working on a lot of new programs here, so I can do a lot of new things for the subscriber base. So, give me one quick second to find these comments that were left here. I don't know if they disappeared, but let's see. Da-da-da. If you all have questions, you could go ahead and drop them in the chat box, and then we will go from there. Let me see. Let me get my chat feed open. Baltimore is in here. That's what I'm talking about, man. Star, what's up, Star? I'm just letting a couple people come in the room really quickly. I know we got some slow comers. Okay, cool. Everything's clear on y'all end. Like you can see, it's like crystal clear in here. Cause I'm like, I don't know if this webcam is a little janky. I'm trying to figure it out, but you know, if that's what it is, that all right, cool. We good. We good. Let me let everybody know that I'm in here, and then we'll start from there. So real quick, everybody, just a little bit about myself, since most people don't really know who I am, where I showed up from, and if I even do what I say I do in the industry. It is true. I'm one of those behind the scenes guys. If you've ever looked anything up on me, you know, the things that you have found are true. All the credits, and let me just say, credits don't really, sometimes credits go unwritten. A lot of times you do things in the community and people don't really, know who you are, but there's always that mystery person that they think. I'm usually that mystery person that you see, and that's who I am. So, let's jump right into it. If one is seeking a publishing deal, how many records do you believe should be in your catalog? Publishing deals don't even go off the number of records. It goes off like the heat that you have, like the hotness that you have. That's how those publishing deals come about. You might have one record that you wrote that you might have been in the studio with somebody and it just so happens to take off. That might have been the first record you wrote, but you got a piece of publishing on it. A publishing company will be coming to look for you, to do a deal with you. So it's not about catalog, though. To keep your publishing deal healthy, I would definitely recommend having a catalog, because without that catalog, man, like the deal is not really going to be worth it. Like you'll get the money, but then because you don't have experience with writing, you won't be able to keep up with the minimum delivery requirement, which is kind of going away, but you won't be able to keep up with that, like some of the professional writers do, right? But catalog, just to answer that question, catalog, I'd say what I think is healthy and consistent work. Now, it might seem like a lot to you, but to most people in the industry or in this space is not. Something like, I'm going to say a solid 150 records a year with maybe 50 of them like a hook and a verse. You know what I mean? If you pumping out that much material, then you should be able to stay on top of your publishing deal. You should really re-up pretty fast. And that way you have chances to play stuff in television and film that might not fit with certain artists, so forth and so on. All right. So, Utah is in the building. That's crazy. I have a big question. How can I protect my beats from another artist working with another producer to get royalties off my tracks? I'm a little confused on that one. If you have beats and you might have to clarify that one, Blessed and Faithful. Protecting your beats from another artist working with another producer. I mean, that's more so copyright. You know what I mean? Keeping the sessions with you, You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to make sure that you keep those sessions on the hard drive. Don't give them the sessions. Don't give them fully mixed versions of the track. Because I know sometimes nowadays you can really mix stuff really fast while you're recording the beats and stuff. Don't give people those finished sessions or finished tracks so quickly. Give them like a low quality MP3, something that they can't do much with when you're working with them in the studio, and just always copyright that stuff on the back end. All right. So when leasing a beat is what's the difference between unlimited license and exclusive license? You all know that I absolutely hate the word exclusive license. The key word is license. And I talk to people about this all the time. License versus rights. It's two different, it's wordplay, it's spelling, it's English. Two different words. And a lot of you all who are buying exclusive licenses on BeatStars and other beat lease sites out there, those licenses really don't allow you to do much more than the basic license allow. All right. So if it was me, I would just buy. I'm keeping it frank from a music business standpoint and someone who's been in the game for a minute. If you just need the WAV file, buy the WAV file. You know what I mean? If you want to mix it, cool, but the producer is not going to come after you if you did, let's say the license was for 100,000 streams, which would be your unlimited, right? And then the exclusive would be like you can do a limit of 500,000 streams with the session stems, right? But nobody's coming after you if you do that. The only thing, like, you have to do a significant amount of streams for them to actually say, hey, you owe me some money on this beat. You know what I mean? So there really is no difference. The difference is the amount of streams. And if they say you can have an unlimited amount of streams, but you don't get the rights, what's the point? Because you're pouring in promotional money and you don't get to benefit all the way around. And let me just clarify for everybody here on the stream. The thing about these lease beats is when you start to climb up the ladder, the sync agents at these television and film companies don't want lease beats. And producers, this is for you all too. So if you're leasing beats, just keep your catalog limited. I understand the lease beats game. People need some quality production to get their first albums out there so they can just let people know what they do. I get it. Okay. But these beats, they don't do well. Okay. They don't do well in the upper echelons, if you will. Somebody might have, borrowed, I don't know, somebody might have used your beat that's pitching to a label, and another person might have used the beat that is trying to pitch to a sync company, so forth and so on. It's the same thing with everybody who uses those splice sounds and all of that. So that's that. If you're shout out to Amon Hunt, I want to thank you for the donation. If you're a totally independent writer, producer, and performer, would you create 3 separate LLCs or combine all 3 with a series LLC? Ooh, that was a good question. Let me read this for everybody else in the room. All right, so check this out. If you're a totally independent writer, producer, and performer, right, would you create 3 separate LLCs or combine all 3 with a series LLC? All right, so this is some advanced business talk right here. Basically, you have an umbrella LLC, which is your main holding company. And that holding company would hold the operational company for your performance, right? All your live shows and all this, that, and the third. Then you got another company that holds the intellectual property for your publishing, all right? And then after that, you got the other company that holds the intellectual property for the publishing as a producer. So you got the writer company, the producer company, and the live performance company. All of this stuff is separated. And then from there, let's say if you go and you do a live show, somebody shorted you to change, or you said, I'm not doing that live show. They paid you half up front and you said, screw it, I'm not coming. And they say, no, I'm suing you. You got to give me that money back. They can only sue the company that is doing the show, and they can't come and sue you for your publishing as a writer and your publishing as a producer. So when you get that advance, then I would go for that method. It usually kicks out around, I don't know, you might have heard me say on the channel, around that point when you reach 50,000 as an artist and you're like, uh-oh, I'm doing shows now. Okay, you're going to need, that's when you start to, and I got this show coming up about some more stuff about 360s, but at that point, that's when you want to go and separate your companies out, all right? Because you don't want liability, you want asset protection. That's what LLCs are about, all right? Asset protection. So I hope that I answered your question, Amon. So now, let's go back up the list. Pots and Pans, what's happening? Pots and Pans is always on here. My question is about distribution and publishing, all right? We have our own codes. I don't know what codes you're talking about, but we want to publish our own music. I'm assuming you're talking about ISRCs. Is it possible to use a DistroKid or United Masters and collect your own publishing? All right, so I'm assuming you're talking about ISRCs, Pots and Pans. Yes, you can have your own ISRCs. It's fine. All right, great. But that's for the sound recording. That has nothing to do with the ISWC. The ISRC is the sound recording. The ISWC is for the composition. That has nothing to do with collecting your publishing. DistroKid, United Masters, TuneCore, CD Baby. I don't care if it's a major label or whatever. They don't collect publishing money. All right. That's your publishing company is a whole nother entity. That doesn't have anything to do with the record company. So United Masters, unless you sign up for a publishing division at any one of these distributors, then they're not collecting publishing. Publishing is something that you have to either go to a Songtrust, who will collect from Music Reports, Harry Fox, your PRO if you let them, the Music Match, all the stuff I said in last week's episode. They do all that work and collect all that money for you. Totally separate thing. So I hope I got that. All right, cool. Bet. All right. Days says, hello, thank you for your time. I'm interested in using commercial music. So for example, if you were creating a music review platform and wanted to play full songs or excerpts, it depends. It depends on where you're gonna play this music. That's a unique question. It depends on where you're gonna play it. All right. Really, it does, because if it's going to be directly on a website and you're just getting started out, you might be okay for starters. But as you grow bigger and you can afford it, and the traffic on your site says that you can afford licenses, you may be under the classification of webcast radio, and therefore you would have to pay your licensing fees to Sound Exchange so all those performers can get paid. If you're doing it via YouTube, yeah, you're going to have to work your finance model out some type of other way right there. All right. Star 67. What's up, Star? Shout out, Star. Dope songwriter. Can a producer contract be used as a contract for a live band? All right. Like hiring a band to make the music versus a beat maker. Would each individual player need to sign a contract? Okay. No, a producer agreement cannot be used for a live band. That's your performance agreement. Just hear me out on this, okay? Sometimes you may see, some of you all who are more advanced watching the show right now, you may see where your performance agreement has producer written in the performance agreement. That's because you're producing a show. Like if someone was producing the Harlem Globetrotters show, if someone was producing, like Tyler Perry is producing a stage play, you take the production and you put it on the road. So if you're talking about a producer contract, Star, it can't be like what you would use in the studio. You would have to package your show for the live band, and those band members would be a part of that contract. All right. Now, for like hiring a band to make the music versus a beat maker, those are just session players at that point. You just pay them the money and they're off. Or what would happen is you know, you would say, hey, would you like a piece of publishing? Or I'm willing to split some publishing with you in exchange for you working on the song with me. It just depends on how they're feeling that day, if they will actually want to do that. And yes, each individual, you know, player would need to sign a contract if you're going to do it that way. All right. AJ Thomas in the building. Darrell, what's up? Darrell Pert from Darrell, forgive me if I don't say in the right space, but everybody, okay, everybody, Darrell Pert in the building. Darrell is a great person to know if you're in the Central Florida area. All right. Everybody that follows this channel, shout out. If you see him in the comments, just go search him, look him up on Instagram. He's a good dude, and he's doing some great work in Central Florida. So shout out Darrell. All right. And he's great management, man. I know a lot of you all in Orlando may have already heard of him and know him on the scene there, especially because a lot of you all who watch me are from Central Florida. All right. Yo, Disciple Deshaun says, I need to schedule a call. I got affiliated with Songtrust, Harry Fox, agency, ASCAP, and I distribute it through DistroKid. Honestly, at this point, I'm confused with who I need to register with. Okay, Deshaun, what happened is you became your own publisher and you did everything yourself, which is good. All right. That's great. So I know last time we talked, you said that you were gonna give it a shot. I said, give it a try, see how it works out. You know what I mean? And then from there, here's what I would suggest. If like we said before, if it becomes too much for you, because you are once you do all the registrations for your first album, if it becomes too much for you, then just sign up with Songtrust. All right. I got some big announcements coming soon. I'm not going to say them just yet. I'm eager to say it, but I can't say it just yet. But Songtrust will handle all that paperwork for you because I know it's a lot. But my main thing on this channel is I want to teach everybody how to get the money themselves first. And then if the work is too time consuming or becomes too much for you, then you can enlist someone like a Songtrust or a CD Baby Publishing. All right. So, Darcel, as an indie artist, what sales or stream point do the scales tip for musicians to be able to have enough leverage to own their masters? All right. This is for everybody in the room. Check this out. The moment you create the stuff in the studio, okay, you own the master. As long as you didn't give anybody the session files and they ran off with it and say, I got it and I'm going to copyright it first, you own those session files. You own that composition, that sound recording. And let's be clear, the masters, like I say in every Copyright Explained on the first part of every episode, is related to the sound recording. It has nothing to do with publishing. Soon as you copyright it, you got even more protection. Okay. Not only that, if you want to get fancy with it, if you have an LLC and the LLC owns the sound recording, now you got asset protection. Just in case you go get in a car wreck personally and someone wants to sue you and your master recording is like worth $2 million and they say, I want some of that money, but they can't do that. All right, but that's another conversation right there. Let's see. Chris, what's happening, Chris? Chris is a dope label owner out of South Florida. Shout out, Chris. Can you go over which agencies pay an artist on a Spotify, Apple stream, and a YouTube stream? Preferably mechanical, I think. Oh, performance, mechanicals, distributor, sound exchange. Okay. So performance, that's like your ASCAP, BMI. Mechanicals, that goes to Harry Fox, Music Reports, and the MLC. All right. Distributor, that's like your TuneCore, CD Baby, all that stuff. Sound exchange is for the performance of the sound recording. All right. Sound exchange does the same job in America that PPL does over in the UK. And if you're a performer, you can get your royalties from PPL, as I had someone from the UK correct me on that as well. And that's that. I hope I answered your question right, Chris. Wavy P, shout out Wavy P. Let's see. Man, I see so many of y'all on Superphone all the time. It's like, yo, what's that? Okay. Everybody hates Royal, I guess is how you say. As a producer songwriter, what should you do if you land a major placement before they send the paperwork? Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Because if you land a major placement, the last thing the label wants to happen is to get sued. Now, hopefully you all did split sheets when you did the recording, as I know a lot of people don't do split sheets. Trust me, I know this. But hopefully you did some split sheets in the beginning so that there's some proof that you actually worked on it, because that's the only reason why you wouldn't see any paperwork. Major labels don't feel, they get lawsuits every single day. Every Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they get lawsuits delivered every day. That's the last thing they want, so they try to do business right. But everybody on this channel, I want you to understand that these major labels are highly understaffed, severely understaffed. So if it's been a minute and nobody's spoken to you yet about it, I would reach out to the team that you work with. If it got released under a major label, I would call them directly and ask to speak to the business affairs department. All right. Now, mind you, you're a small fish in a big pond. They got, all your regular stars and their representatives they got to deal with on a daily basis, but be patient. But at least reach out to the team that you work with from the jump. Ellis Beetle Entertainment. Are royalties from publishing retroactive? If so, how long is it available to collect? Usually, if something's not, publishing isn't retroactive like producer royalties, like the term record one. It's not, it's just, it's, in short, it's not retroactive. And that just answers that question. Haze Records, what's happening? Haze, man, what is happening? Look like you got in a high school fight on this icon you got going on. Anyway, distro service, repost network by SoundCloud. Distro service that allows you to submit to Apple, Spotify's playlist curators, and got impeccable YouTube content ID. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know much about Repost Network by SoundCloud. I haven't been on SoundCloud for a while, but most distribution services allow you to submit to the Apple, Spotify playlist curators. Almost all of them, all right? Nobody has impeccable YouTube content ID. I'm just keeping it real. Like, they put it in the system, but sometimes it comes off kind of janky. So, I mean, YouTube content ID is in its own thing. It's further developing. It's not really great. You know what I mean? But hey, that's your logo. That's your logo, man. So yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. So I hope I answered your question, Haze Records, because everybody has the playlist thing. There are a lot of different services that will offer the marketing, or the marketing service that will allow you to push to playlists, but playlists should not be your only marketing strategy. So you're going to have to develop some unique ways to make that work. Okay, so Wavy P, aren't those split sheets available on your site? If not, where's the best place to find them, hard copy or online? Thanks for all the info, Casey. Split sheets are everywhere and they're a dime a dozen. So here's my thing about split sheets. I like to do split sheets via email. And what I like to do is just type out all the splits for everybody involved and email everybody involved on the same email all at one time, so that everybody sees what the person who's, taking notes on what the split should be, all at one. All that has to be done at one time. And then you ask, does everybody agree with the splits? Kind of like in a chat. The reason why you want to do it via email is because you got all of the timestamps of when people approved the splits, when they had discrepancies with the splits, and you keep that stream going until everybody is satisfied. I mean, you can do the split sheets you can just go to Google and search songwriter split sheets, and you're gonna get a million of them. Take your pick. You know what I mean? They're out there. They work. It's just a piece of paper that will list the splits. Okay. The main thing you're concerned about getting on the splits is the percentage for the writer's share at the PRO and the percentage for the publisher's share. And you need to get their IPI numbers so you know how to put it in the system when it's time to do so. And that's how I suggest that everyone should do their splits. All right. So, should we fill out the split in DistroKid and the MLC? Yes, you should fill out the splits in DistroKid only if you're paying. Okay, let me back up. The splits in DistroKid are for the splits on the sound recording. Those splits are only reserved if you had an agreement with somebody that said, you owe me a royalty on the song. What I mean is what comes out of the sound recording, because those are sound recording royalties on DistroKid. DistroKid has nothing to do with publishing. Okay? So the sound recording royalty would be the producer royalty if the producer requested 4 points or 4% of the streams. If you had an executive producer that requested 1 or 2%, all right. If you had like an A&R or independent A&R that helped you and you said, hey, I'll give you like 2% of the album. That's what DistroKid splits are for. It's not for publishing. Now, if you and a buddy are doing an album and you say, hey, let's just split up the sound recording 50-50, well, then that's that. All right. You didn't make it big enough, or you didn't have your business structured enough to say, to warrant those other type of splits. Okay. Now, but on the flip side, the MLC, yes, because the MLC is mechanical royalties. All right. And on the MLC, you're only supposed to register your splits, not anybody else. So what makes the MLC registration easier is if you already have it registered at your PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, GMR, for the super rich people. You know what I mean? And then go to the MLC and then register. All right. So, let's see what we got. AJ, what's happening? Do artists get paid for performing at awards like BET and at the Grammys? Yes, they do get the bag. They get a bag for that. Sometimes it's rare that it's a favor. The reason why they get a bag for that is because it's just a live performance. You're doing it on TV. They got to pay for this. You know what I mean? Like they're going to get a bag. It might not be the biggest bag that they would get on their tour, but they're going to get some type of compensation for that. All right. Hello, I need some clarity. This is Eva. I need some clarity on publishing. Is it the norm for the beat maker to get 100% publishing? I'm kind of confused. Eva, no, it's not. And I think you might be confused based on those BeatStars contracts. And to everybody on the line, if you're still confused about the BeatStars contracts, I think it's under Section 2. I hate those contracts. But under Section 2, the part where it talks about the publishing, it only states that the producer will get 100% of their share of the composition. So, Eva, if you were the writer on one of these types of beats, okay, then you would get 50% for writing your half, and the producer would get 50% for writing or composing their half. That's it. Now, if it's not on a lease beat thing, they shouldn't be getting 100% publishing. I don't know what it is. It sounds like you're in a hostile situation, and you probably need to get out of the studio because that doesn't sound right. All right. Cool. Now, appreciate that, Chris. Income streams, 64 music royalty checks. How can I get the information for other publishing companies? Does this require a phone call? All right. I think I might have Ellis Beetle Entertainment. I think I might have spoke to you before. So here's the thing: those 64 checks that I talked about, that's in a nutshell the payout schedule from all of those companies. So if you all haven't seen the video I put out last week about how to get 64 royalty checks, like you can, as long as you're like you have, you got some momentum behind your movement, you can get 3 or 4 checks a month in publishing money every month. And it's not even a secret. It's just that you got to have the stuff registered. That's if you do it and you're self-published. But if you're signed up with a publisher, you might only see 2 checks a year, but that doesn't mean that you're not still getting that money. It's just all coming into one entity, and then they'll pay you out 2 checks a year. All right. If you are Ellis Beetle, if you are collecting all of those checks, you are the publishing entity at this point. So there's not much else that you can collect. There are a few foreign agencies that you can collect from, and I'm keeping it real because I always do on this channel. But the reason why I left some of those foreign agencies out is because I know that a lot of what will end up happening is most artists won't become artists anymore. They'll end up becoming their own publishers and doing their own admin, which pulls them out of the creative stance. And I don't want anybody to be pulled that far out. I just want you all to have an understanding about how the industry works so that when you go and do publishing deals, you know what these people are supposed to be collecting money on. All right. So creator season. Hi. If you are an artist producing tracks and selling non-exclusive licenses on BeatStars, would it be a problem to pitch the same track to publishing companies to get it on TV or ads? Woo! Look, man, I'm telling you this right now, because when I was in the sync space heavy, they were closing it was like every year they were saying you can't do this, you can't do that. I think the first thing that came across was we don't want loops and stems. So all my splice producers out there, I'm talking to you. If you gotta have splice, you gotta work it a different way. Then it became, oh, there's a discrepancy with these leased beats. Let's shut the door on that. Because what would happen is they would get submissions, and you gotta think, music supervisors on just one single show will get 50, 60 songs for just one song in one part of the film or the show. And so they can't have that where they get, okay, so they get the same beat a couple times for one cue, which is called a cue when they ask for the request. All right. They don't want to have to figure out, oh, this producer was here and this producer was there. Which one do I pay? And where do I get the clearance from? Because this record label says they have it, but this record label says they have it. And now I'm confused. And so what they end up doing is Xing out all those leased beats. And so when that happened, then they X'd out all of the independent people and they said, let's just go through sync agents. Or you had to set yourself up as a music library just to get in the door. So the door into the TV world is a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder now. And I don't recommend you pitching. If you're going to make beats that you're going to put on your BeatStars page, make those strictly for BeatStars. The rest of the catalog, you can use that. But don't use the stuff you got on BeatStars for television and sync, because eventually it's going to come back, to bite you. All right, cool. Now, I hope if I missed your question, because the chat is just going on and on, just put it back in the chat again. Let's see. If you're signed up with Songtrust, do you need to sign up with Harry Fox Agency too? No, you don't. All right, because Songtrust is taking care of that for you. Michael McGlory, what's going on, sir? TV performances are paid scale by AFTRA. Tell me where I know you can pick that up over at the fund. I know we were talking about that fund a while ago, Mr. McGlory. Pop that in the chat for everybody. and how they can pick up those funds at AFTRA. I'm just speaking on my experience. The stuff that I've had placed on television, I just see it. Once I get the direct fee, I see it pop up in my BMI statements. And shout out to South Africa. I'm not throwing any shade to Africa, but man, Samro and the guys over at Samro, I've been seeing some of my stuff come in from television over from Samro, and I'm glad that some of the infrastructure over there, I know you all are building over in Africa, so I see the infrastructure happening as I see the royalties come in from Africa. So shout out to South Africa. So ESO, I don't know how you say that. When doing a music video, does the video producer have rights or royalties for the music as well as the video? They shouldn't. So you have to get contracts unless they say, once you get further up, they may request a royalty on the video. But after that, it's, this is what it is. Shout out to everybody donating on the Cash App. I really appreciate your donation, Autumn. Thank you. They might request a video royalty, but most videos, the stuff that you see on BET Jams or VH1 or MTV Jams, if that channel still exists, I don't know. It's dwindling down and down, and the rotation on there is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So they might request it, but that's what that is. Z-Man Productions in the house. That's what it is. Let's see. DSP God, I use Airbit Content ID, and for the year it failed to find 100,000 YouTube video with my beat. Yeah, I mean, YouTube Content ID is cool, but it doesn't always work. It really doesn't. So, and 100,000 plays on YouTube is not a lot of money anyway, but that's what it is. I think I think it's like 100, $200, something like that. Let me see. Produced by Diberian? I want Diberian, like Siberian. Okay. Should a producer give 50% of the sound recording to artists for the song? I mean, I produce a song and they sing. Does that mean if they want to sign it with the label, they need my permission too, right? Yeah, I mean, they would need, because the label's going to buy you out. All right. So producers, that's when you get the producer contract from the label. The label's not going to promote the record unless A, they either do a licensing agreement with you and hold your master, or B, they buy the master completely out. And in which most cases, produced by Siberian, if you are not the label, then like the independent label, then they're going to buy you out more than likely. So that's how that's going to work. And I mean, in the beginning, if you want to split your sound recording up 50-50, that's on you. You know what I mean? I mean, sure. I guess you could do that, It just depends on what stage you're at. Let's see. How do DJs play that amount of songs on festivals? How do publishing and sound recording licenses work there? Ooh, really good question. All right, check this out. So these are performance royalties that artists are supposed to log when they do performances. All right. I know that it's a requirement, especially in places like Italy, Portugal, Spain, at the performance rights, organizations over there. They require that DJs log their sets. But in America, you have to be the artist to actually log the set. That's the difference. So over here, it's a little bit harder to know who's playing songs where. Over there, they're like, nah, if you're playing in a public space or a building, you have to log your set list, which would allow artists to get paid. So if you're doing a festival and you're a DJ, it depends on where you are and how you would actually log the set. Okay. In America, if you're an artist and you're doing a performance set at a festival, you log that into your ASCAP on stage or your BMI Live account. Or if you're playing a venue like a House of Blues here in America, You log your set list in the BMI Live portal thing in BMI or ASCAP on stage so you can get your check. I did a video way back talking about those royalties and how much like the House of Blues paid me in New Orleans for a song of mine that was performed on a set list. I forgot what video that was. That was a while back. Teresa, I hope I'm saying this. Please, Teresa, I want to say, will Songtrust collect royalties for Lyric and Shazam streams, or do you have to sign up for Lyric Find? Good question. So Songtrust collects all of that, just like any other publisher would. Okay. And Shazam pays the mechanical, but they don't pay money for the stream because they get the stream in under 30 seconds. So the only royalty they actually have to pay is the mechanical royalty for reproducing the song. That's the trick. All right. But Songtrust will collect for that stuff, and they will make sure if you're not there, you're there. All right. Is it smart to imprint with a larger company? How much power would I use? Or would you need? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Like if they wanted to imprint my company. That's a decision on you if you want to do a label deal with the record company. You have to decide from a business standpoint, my company needs support from a bigger label. It's time to expand with the bigger label, so forth and so on. All right. Now, if they feel that it would be a good business decision for them, then yes, they will come to you. But then you also have to counter that decision and say, is this a good idea for me? All right. Chica, if you buy a digital download instead of stream, would the artist still get any form of royalties for streams on purchased MP3s? Yes, this is called the artist royalty. All right. Check this out, everybody, because I know everybody gets confused. That streaming money that you see in your TuneCore, DistroKid, CD Baby, United Masters, Ditto, whatever account, okay? The streaming money that you do see, it's the equivalent of a sale. So they actually call, even though they call them streams, it's the same thing as a sale. So instead of getting 99 cents, you're just getting 0.0038 cents, okay? And then the artist royalty is pieced off of that 0.0038. Okay, that's how that works. So yes, if someone downloaded instead of the stream, yes, the artist would get a cut of that, whether it be 20%, 50%, 25%, 30%, whatever the deal is with the artist for the royalty, they would get a piece of that. All right. Gerard, I am creating my first mixtape project. I have been going back and forth whether to drop music singles for my project while still working on it. Wait a minute. I have been going back and forth whether, I'm guessing you forgot to put in deciding whether to drop music singles for my project while still working on it or waiting till it's fully completed. What should I do? Put it this way, dropping singles is a decision that you have to make personally to figure out if I have enough stamina to work a whole album, because I see a lot of people work on albums, but then they don't do the promotion right. So I feel like when you're first starting out, if you're working a song at a time, it gives you the experience to say, okay, yeah, I'm ready to promote a full album. So let's say if you're doing a song a month, right? If you can promote one song, you can promote two. If you can promote two songs, you can promote an EP. If you can promote an EP, then you can do an album. Just bit by bit, keep going up the ladder, bit by bit right there. All right. Let's see. I got it out. Okay. Okay, I got you. All right. If I were to remake a beat, let's say the old school classic Planet Rock using the 808 beat machine, can I get sued for it? Yes, you can. Or do I have to pay anything even if I made it myself? I made a video, but it wasn't on Planet Rock. It was on Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, about clearing six steps to clearing a sample or something on the channel. I had the older haircut. I was looking super young. All right. It's on the channel. It has a blue thumbnail on it. All right. But yes, you can. You have to get clearance, not from the record label, but from the publisher, because what you did was you recreated the arrangement on the 808 machine. Funny story is, for that video that I did on sexual healing, where I had the 808 beat replaying the same exact way that it was played in Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, I actually got flagged on that video, and it wasn't even the same recording because YouTube content ID is stupid. But it picked it up, I got flagged, and then I had to explain my case to Sony Music and tell them that, you know, I'm teaching music business, explaining an interpolation, and you flagged me for talking about commentating on an interpolation. That's very funny. But that's how that worked. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Okay, so how can you get the master recording and stems from a music recording studio if they're not trying to give you copies? Okay, there shouldn't be a problem to get those master recordings. The only issue would be is if you didn't pay for all of the studio time. Okay, I mean, I've done that before where I've locked the session file, like somebody would request it, but then I would just lock the file and give it to them and tell them if they wanted to unlock the file, they had to finish paying my invoice. You know, I mean, I can't, unless they're just trying to bogart what you got, I can't really see how, you know, they would hold your sessions hostage. Cool. All right, Mr. Michael McGlory, I asked him to put something in the chat, and he did. And he says, whenever you perform live on television, everyone gets paid by SAG. Oh, yeah. Everyone does get paid by SAG-AFTRA. Thank you for reminding me of that, Mr. McGlory. The side members, musicians, dancers, get union scale. All right. Featured artists get featured artist scale plus whatever you negotiate. Okay, Chica says I misunderstood. After the initial purchase, royalty has been collected. If you stream the song 1,000 times after this purchase, royalty has been paid to the artist. Would he get future performance? Artist, as long as the artist wrote on the record, they should get performance royalties. Henry Brown, what about promoting a single? How to go about it properly? That's a question that's more so designed for what are you trying to promote? You know, I think that artists, when they start out, they only think about the frontier of the internet. And the internet is only one playing field. The other playing field that gives you potency is the physical field, if you will. So getting out in your geographical area and working the single. All right, whether it's doing live shows and stuff like that. I don't know where you are in your stage, but I always suggest that if you're going to promote a single, you always want to start in your geographical area and work your way out. Even if you're running your YouTube ads, your Instagram ads, run those in your area and keep your efforts concentrated. And then that way you won't lose control of the promotion. You'll keep your money in a smaller area, and you can build buzz in a concentrated area. What is the best way to pitch music to music supervisors? Don't bombard them with emails. Music supervisors, though they want to be found, you must be professional. You must have all of your songs registered that you're going to pitch. It would be a good idea to have, and don't send them attachments, send them links. Most supervisors don't want unsolicited material. So establish a relationship with them online saying, hey, look, I love what you did in this last show. I think I have music that could fit with your show or the shows that you were working on, you know, or what you plan to be doing in the future. The tools that you're going to need to submit to these supervisors will be just watching TV and looking for the credits. You need an IMDb Pro account because the regular IMDb account is cool. But when you get the IMDb Pro, you have now entered into the film and television world. All right. You get an IMDb Pro account, you get access to contacts, but you got to use those contacts with severe discretion. It's almost like you only got one shot, like Eminem. You know what I mean? You only get that one shot, and that email has to be spot on. Because most of the time, supervisors dump those emails in the trash because the music is not cleared and they don't trust it and they don't want to lose their job. So, like my man Clint Music, for I know some of you all follow Clint Music on YouTube. He is in that sync space heavy. That's what he does. You got to be, really cordial with those supervisors. Short, sweet, to the point. Here's the song link, not the attachment. All right. So, Ramos Music. If I make a beat for a producer and I keep my publishing and the artist keeps his publishing, producer only owns the masters. All right. How does he make money off the song? Who makes money off the song? Drop that in the comments real quick, Ramos. Drop that in the comments real quick, Ramos. You got to correct that. Hey, yeah, man, I fixed this Nintendo I had to put one of those new 72-pin connectors in there, and this is like the original joint, the original joint. It was yeah, so it's working, man. Excite Bike and all that stuff. I got to get Contra, so if somebody has a copy of Contra, you know what I mean, let me know. The producer. Okay, so if I make a beat for a producer and I keep my publishing and the artist keeps his publishing, producer only owns the master. How does the producer make money off the song? So did you sell your rights to the... So you're making a beat for a producer and you're keeping your publishing and the artist keeps their publishing. The producer, I'm confused on that one. But I'm going to take it as you're the producer and there's an artist involved. And the producer owns the master. How does the producer make money on the song? So that you would make your publishing money and you would make, all the money on the sound recording that would come to your DistroKid, TuneCore account, so forth and so on. I'm just going to sum that one up. Carlos, how can I get away with being able to release remixes, edits, re-edits, mashups, bootlegs, etc. if it is for promotional use so I can promote my DJing skills? I almost got sued for doing this years ago. Carlos, are you out of Orlando, man? I think we spoke, right? I think, man, because Central Florida is big, man. Like, y'all, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm coming down there. To figure out what's missing with the bag in Central Florida and how to organize this thing. How can I? Yeah. Yeah. Carlos, that's kind of a wild, wild west type of question. I mean, it's almost like catch me if you can. Because you see, Carlos, I knew you were in Florida somewhere. I just knew it. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one because as a DJ, unless you've gotten big enough to request clearance to make the clearance request make sense, because those clearance requests cost. Because once they're either going to say, if they don't feel that you can generate enough money, they're going to just shut the door in your face and say no. They don't even want to deal with you. So then now you have to go the route of, I'm going to do it and I'm going to ask for forgiveness later. But if you get big enough and they see that you're doing something on the ground, then here's the other way to do it. Do not register these remixes for any type of performance royalty. Don't register just put it out. Just put it out on YouTube or SoundCloud and don't try to get any money off of it and try to produce attention off of it. That's the only other way you can get a workaround on that. Let's see. Mystery Coin. If I do a remix to a song, what are the do's and don'ts of copyright? Like, I'm using a remake of the beat and the same name as the original. I mean, it goes hand in hand with what I was saying from with Carlos. Like to do that, it depends on your stature as a remixer. All right. So that's why as I was saying with Carlos, Mystery Coin, like don't. Yeah, like Carlos, 50,000 plays, that's not enough, but it's gaining some momentum. For you, it's good, but for them, they're like, you're like a fly. You know what I mean? Like, mosquito, get out of the way. You know what I mean? So, Mystery Coin, you're kind of in that same boat. Everybody who's like, who's got the Ableton joint where you're doing the remixes with the finger drumming and all that stuff, you just kind of got to shoot your shot, throw it out there, and then eventually people will notice you for that. Just like all the people on Instagram who do all those dance remix videos with different funny memes of people dancing, but yet it's just attention. Your gain is the attention to the credibility of your name. And once you get big enough, they're going to be like, oh, DJ Carlos, yo, you got to remix my joint. Kind of like how Cardi B had with Suede the Remix God and the coronavirus, or the Shirley Caesar, beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes type of thing. It's like, and to be clear, Shirley did come after Suede the Remix God, but I'm quite sure somebody in her camp said, you know what, you might want to let that one slide, because that's like a yearly Thanksgiving anthem. So, she's old school, but he's new school, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna run that risk on those remixes. But no, I mean, Carlos, if you got 50K, let's get another 50K happening. AJ Thomas, the music industry, so confusing. Yesterday, I just Aliyah uncle. I'm assuming you meant to say saw Aliyah's uncle say something about normal one in something about normal 1 in a million sample, and he apparently doesn't want Aliyah's music on platforms. Yeah, Aliyah was signed to Blackground Music, and I don't know why Blackground Music didn't want her music on the platform. I mean, I really wish it was on the platforms. I feel like at this point, we have gone so far in the game that I personally feel that the owners of Aliyah's catalog over at Blackground Records are losing buku amounts of cash at this point because her catalog is so big. So, are you familiar with building FTP sites for music catalogs? Mr. McGlory, I am not, but that is something that I am seeking information in. Text me, and then we'll get on a call. I'll just call you. We'll do that. We'll hop on a call, and that's how we'll do it. I'll call you. Eva, does the artist and the producer get 50-50 if the artist created and the melody? Does the artist get the what? Does the artist and the producer get 50-50 if the artist created and the melody and the producer laid the instrumental? I mean, those splits are, Eva, those splits are entirely up to the creators of the song. So if the artist put in 50% worth of creation that everybody agreed to and said that this is cool, then that's what it is. There is no set split for any creation. But normally when there's two people involved, it's going to be 50-50 unless someone just came in and played some cowbell on some stuff and you said, I'll give you 10%. Or I hope you're not giving nobody 10% for playing the cowbell. It would have been a hell of a performance on some cowbell for 10%. But anyway, DSP God, I did 20,000 plays on SoundCloud remix of Georgia Smith and had zero issues with it. That's what I'm saying. Like, so on the remixes, if you do it enough, then it'll be like, yo, DSP God got to remix my joint. It won't be a, why are you doing this? It'll be a, yo, I need this person to remix my stuff because they're the hottest remixer right now. So it's like you got to put the material out and then eventually they'll come to you. All right. Rose Green, hypothetically, if an artist had 100,000 and 200,000, US dollars to invest in their music to become famous in 12 months. Stop rushing to become famous. Because some people don't even want the fame. Once they get a little bit, they get scared. So don't do that. All right. What would be your all or nothing plan, meaning blueprint of how to go viral and get fans? Number one, Rose Green, I'm not going to give you a blueprint on the live show like this. That's a call right there. But I'm going to tell you like this. Man, I would take it in steps, because it's like this. One day somebody might have a hit record. You'll be chilling at home. In the South, we like socks and sports sandals for some reason. That's how we do it, okay? And you go into the grocery store, and you might look busted one day. And you just walk, and all of a sudden, your song blow up. And now it's like, oh, everybody sees me in the grocery store, and they know me. What's going on? And now you got to deal with this really quickly, really fast. It doesn't even become an issue of people know me. Now you're like, oh, security issue, security risk, bank account, car, license plate, driver's license, credit card, where I stay, address, and all these flags go up. So don't rush into the fame. Let it gradually build so you can figure out how to deal with the fame. Because if it hits you like a sack of bricks, that's usually when people go off the deep end. Okay, so don't rush into that. But if I had 100, 200,000, I would just build it slowly. My suggestion to everybody is always start in the geographical area where you live. All right? In a 300-mile radius, preferably, because a lot of times in your hometown, people won't really support you. So you got to go out or over to the next city and then come back, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I get it. So, you know what I mean? That's that. Carlos M., I'm in the process of starting up a radio station. Do you know how the licensing goes if I am wanting to play commercial music and have my own mix shows that include my own edits and remix, etc.? Yeah, go over to Sound Exchange and then tell them that you're trying to license stuff for because I'm assuming I don't know if you're doing terrestrial. I don't know where you are in doing terrestrial radio, but if you are, then you're going to have to pay BMI, and if you're going to do a simulcast, you're going to have to pay Sound Exchange as well. So, but if you're doing webcasts, go to Sound Exchange, look up the subscriber base or the listener base that you will possibly have. Last time I checked, I think for like a small listener base, it was $500 a year that you got to pay to play the music. So hit up Sound Exchange, and then hopefully that'll get you on your way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Camp Harder, do you have Connect to get music placed on NBA Lives or John Madden or UFC games? EA Sports, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Florida people, I believe that EA Sports is in Orlando. I don't know. I think. I'm not sure. But hit up EA Sports Entertainment Division and go there. I mean, it's like, if you want to get there, get there. I mean, these NBA games, these sports games pack in roughly 40 to 50 different songs within the game, but now they have it, on the PlayStation 5, 4, and I think really starting with the third generation, where people were just streaming music while they were playing. So it's a little bit different now. So yeah. Let's see. Don't read the profile picture on this channel. That is so, I don't even know if that's genius or what. What age do I need to be able to release my own songs legally? Is there a way where I can release music for free? I mean, yeah, just put it on YouTube. That's that. Put it on SoundCloud, YouTube, Audio Mac. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me see what else I missed on here. I don't know if I missed anything. I'm gonna rock out with y'all for about 30 more minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna make this a monthly thing, a weekly thing, or what. But I am learning what you all need. And I want to make sure that I cover a lot of this stuff, so I'm gonna leave this stream up as well. Shout out, Madam President. Jackie Corderi, please. I don't want to butcher that, but I think Cordery, Jackie Cordery. If I'm trying to get songs placed in television, film, or video games, should I release songs on my own as well as? Yeah, released, because the released music is what the public sees. Don't forget, those supervisors are the public. They're going to, if you send an email to someone saying that your name is Jackie Cordery, right? And then they say, okay, let me check this out. They're going to go to your Spotify. You won't even have time to say, oh, wait, I want you to check. No, they're going to go directly and look for you. If they get the link that you send them, mind you, only send links to music supervisors, never send attachments. And if they go to the link and you give that to them, then they're going to start going through everything that you have if they love what you sent them. So yes, release some songs. Release a few so that they can hear. If you want to do it on SoundCloud, that's cool. Okay. Is there a discount to be negotiated sampling a song and the physical master recording? Wait a minute. Oh, let me read this right. Is there a discount to be negotiated sampling a song and the physical master recording is no longer available without stems or master to compete with songs of today? I'm a little confused on that one. I'm not sure. I'm going to read it one more time. If I don't catch it, I'm going to move on to the next one. All right. So, is there a discount to be negotiated sampling a song and the physical master recording is no longer available without stems or master to compete with songs of today? I'm not quite sure what you're saying with that one, but I'm going to keep it moving. All right. So, where should you start as an aspiring singer? You should start in your bathroom first or in the shower. And then from there, if you're so good to take it out of the shower and nobody has thrown any soap at you in the shower, then you should go to an open mic and test it out and then see if people say yay or nay. Build up your confidence, get rid of the stage fright, you know what I mean? And then find some producers to work with. You know what I mean? That's where you should start as an aspiring singer, the open mics, okay? And a karaoke bar. Don't rule out the karaoke bars. Start there too, all right? Because you want to get used to performing. Z-Man Productions. If I am self-published, does it make sense to deal with music libraries? I mean, what is your goal with the music libraries? That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, what is your absolute goal with the libraries? Because some libraries, they ain't worth a nickel and a penny. You know? Yeah, they're not, because they don't put in the work. You got to understand, music libraries hit an explosion about 5 years ago, where it was like, dick, and then everybody started seeing those sync checks come in when the streaming money what they really realized that digital downloads were really going away and streams just weren't it. Then everybody, the uptick on music libraries went through the roof. Problem is, most music libraries only last anywhere from 2 to 3 years, right? So that's where music publishers kick in. And music publishers are like, well, hey, we're going to be here because we got more to do than just pitch to music supervisors. So if you want to go to a library, ask them how long they've been in business, what's their success rate, you know, what's the last thing they got some stuff placed on, so forth, so on. Do your due diligence to make sure you're not signing these library deals and locking and your stuff up in an exclusive agreement. And another piece of game for everybody here on the channel, most of these libraries will only do exclusive deals because that's another thing the music supervisors don't like. They don't like non-exclusive libraries. So you can't pitch your stuff to 18 different libraries and then they end up getting the same song 3 times on one queue, and they got to figure out who's going to get the lowest bid. Who can they get the lowest amount for? Music supervisors don't want to do that anymore. They also shut the door on non-exclusive libraries. So do your due diligence there. Masters damaged or lost. I'm still confused on that. Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate that. Yeah, Tolu, yeah, you gotta find a place to study the craft. Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. Outside of my funny comments, you definitely want to find a place to hone those skills. Even if you need a performance coach, a singing coach. People don't even go to performance coaches anymore. They don't even take the time to go, if they would like to dance and sing, to go to a choreographer anymore. Just go to a dance studio, take a dance class, see how it works. And even just to get performance lessons to know how to hold the mic and to do what at certain points on the stage. Some people don't even know that when you're performing, it's best that you rarely turn your back to the crowd, if any at all. Either it's this shoulder, that shoulder, straight ahead. You know what I mean? Because the crowd doesn't want to see your back, They want to see you in front of them at all times. All times. Exclusive libraries? Yes, exclusive libraries, meaning that they are the only one that can represent your catalog for a set amount of time. It's kind of like an exclusive publisher, except for they don't own publishing. They own the rights to get your music placed in television and film. Okay, so when you're looking and seeking exclusive libraries, make sure that they have a high success rate on placement in television and film. Says, yes, I consider him for mentorship every time I come across a new artist. Star 67. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Yeah, Jackie, I never talked about Splice. Here's the thing about Splice, everybody. This is not even a music supervisor record label. It's a record label thing too. What's happening is people are getting the stuff on Splice. They're not even chopping the samples up, and they're just laying it in the beat. And then they take that beat to a record label, and the A&R is like, yo, I just heard this sample last week on a song we just distributed. I can't take this. I don't want this. You know what I mean? Because you have people who are being lazy as producers. And this really started in television and film, where they started to say, I'm not taking any more loops. No, y'all got to be creative with this thing. Simply because everybody's starting to turn into the same thing. And this is where the business now is starting to draw the line at creativity, because not because of, like, I understand people could sample like Planet Rock, or they could, sample Funky Drummer forever and forever. But it's what you do with it that makes it new. And people aren't taking these sample packs from Splice and all this stuff and chopping them up and making them new. And once they just lay them in the beat, everybody's doing that. Those vocal samples, the contract that you get from Splice that says that you can't do, I forgot what it says. It's in, I think it's in section 6 or 7 of the Splice contract, somewhere at the bottom, talking about you don't own you don't get the right to use it in something in the master recording, something. But Splice is tripping a lot of people up. You know what I mean? Yeah, Z-Man, do it yourself and hit the supervisors. It's always great, and it's always great to have, because let me tell you something. It's still dealing with the music supervisors, it's an underground thing. And as long as you have dope creative music, once you get in the door with the music supervisor and they know that you can keep turning it out, and they're gonna be like, hey, yo, Z-Man, I got a joint for this. You got something? And they'll keep calling, and as long as you can keep delivering, then they're going to always call on you, and eventually you'll do a production deal with a Fox or a Universal or a Viacom, where you do like 20 or 100 songs or 50 songs, and they will make sure those songs get in rotation every single time. So that's something like, if you do the work yourself, it's this, the TV space is super hard work, man. It's hard work. It takes a long time. There's not a lot of supervisors out there. They rotate these supervisors every 2 to 3 years. So you got to keep your email list, fresh, and you got to stay on top of the supervisors. On top of that, it is like the difference between, the producer who's going to work for the artist and the producer who's going to work in film. Two different types of producers. So if you're a bedroom producer, I would recommend learning the format of how to produce for television and film. If that's strictly all you want to do and you want to get those checks in sync, then cool. Most TV companies pay pretty fast. So, you know what I mean? Type beats. I'm a beat maker. I have distro, PRS, and PPL, and am I fully covered? Oh, okay, so you're in the UK. All right, yeah, with PPL, PRS, with your PRS account, I hope you have your account at MCPS, but I'm assuming that they're taking care of that for you so you can get your mechanicals, since you all are kind of monopolized on the mechanicals in the United Kingdom. But yeah, make sure you got an MCPS account, Audio Bullets. Make sure you have that. All right. How to release albums. Do you need to be in a specific age if you are? No, you don't need it. Don't read the profile picture on this channel. What the age limit really is collecting your money. So like, if you go to BMI, you got to have a guardian to represent you. You know what I mean? You got to have a guardian to represent you. And they're going to ask that when you sign the contract. There has to be a guardian present to sign the contract for you so that you can get, your performance royalties. So there's not a specific age to release music. You can do it right now. All right. Looking forward to you talking Friday. So many questions. Yeah, man. Just hit me up. He can fully focus on a subject. I really can. Madam President, thank you for telling the people, like, I break it down. A lot of times, like, I really should charge more. The reason why I don't charge a lot for my calls is because I'm just being open and frank on here. I know how much you all have to pay for attorneys for their consultations. So I price myself just below it so you can get information that you always don't need to talk to an attorney about. Attorneys starting out on the low ball range, 300, 350, 400. But if you get an A-list attorney, they can kick all the way up to 1,200 just for the hour. So I know that sometimes you need some of this. So that's the reason why I don't charge a lot. And a lot of times when the people get on the phone with me, I give you so much information, you don't come back for at least 2 months, 2 to 3 months at a time. That's just how generous I am. You know what I mean? I get it, man. But I do want you to understand, there's a lot of money generated in this entertainment industry. Therefore, even though when you're starting out, you're like, oh man, this costs this much money. It costs all of this. This is a lot of money. In the grand scheme of the industry, it is not. It is only like the amount of money you pay for a BMI account, the $250 for the publishing. That's like pennies in this game. Pennies. All right. So, let's see what we got. Reference Amigos use Reels for Temptations. Papa was a Rolling Stone sample they used. Let me see. There is a Michael Jackson audio of him working with vocal coach Seth Riggs. Okay, bet. Check that out. Check your number. I just text you a question with image. Willie, I'm gonna hit I saw the text. If y'all, this number actually works. It does go. I got numbers on here, but it works. It's going off right. My phone right here is going off right now. So, just, you can text that number. It's a lot of people in my phone. So like I say all the time, whenever you show up, you don't get to me, I will get to you, or just text me again. Let's see. When registering copyright, does it matter if one uses the sound recording registration form or the performing arts form followed by sound recording forms for any derivatives any derivatives separately. Double work. Okay. The Copyright Office has went under massive upheavals and tosses and turns in the last 2 years. Now you only have to file the SR form, and if you are the same person that owns the sound recording, they will use the same owners of the sound recording and dub it as the PA form. So you don't have to pay twice. You only pay once now. So that's the cool part about where they are now. The other cool part is back in February of this year, they made it easy. So let's say if you're an independent artist and you own an album, you can copyright the entire album, composition, and the artwork to the album for $65. At this point, if you ain't copyrighting your music, like, I mean, it's like, I don't know, the heavens opened up with the Copyright Office. I don't know what they did over there during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's open now. I mean, come on. The artwork, all the songs, and the sound recordings for $65. You know how long people been waiting to do this? So it's like, you can do it now, like, for real. So go copyright your stuff. What should I have? Let me see. What should I have covered when dropping a single? Ooh, that is a personal question. Nana or Nene of Sanity or Saintly. What should I have covered when I mean, artwork, good mix, get your ducks in a row with marketing and promotion, something like that. Star, what's up? I recommend booking a call for show. He gonna get you right with the knowledge and really get down to the bottom of your questions. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. This is good, but one-on-ones are great, more than worth it. Yes, they are. You the man, Casey. Thank you, Z-Man Production. Next World Entertainment, great knowledge. Thank you, Next World. Make sure you have something to write with. Yes, Star, you gotta make sure you got something to write with me, because if you don't, then you gonna miss the boat. You might miss something. Angie Irvin. I hope I said that right. How would I go about pitching a song to a company for a commercial? Okay, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that, Angie. Advertising agencies do not have music supervisors. They have creative departments that call the libraries or the music publishers. That's the catch with commercials. You are almost immediately locked out unless you have developed a relationship with somebody at the creative department of the ad agencies. Getting in commercials are one of the hardest things you can do when it comes to television and film, because they are the biggest checks you can get at one time. Because if someone does an ad that's a national television spot, it's going to be an easy 6 figures all day long. Every one of these national money. Go back on my channel, and I'll talk about the Arby's commercial with the Ving Rhames and the Sugar Ray joint. I break it down on that video. It's got a picture of a box of Arby's fries. I saw it. I was in Miami. I was dying laughing. I was in Miami, and I saw the commercial on the TV, and I was like, oh, somebody got a big check for that one. Anyway, I did a video on it. It's on the channel. Demode, can artists from overseas, let's say a third world country, collect all their royalties, and how would they go about doing that through the U.S.? Okay, that's a really good question, because there are a lot of countries that do not have infrastructure built to collect royalties in the country that they're in. Good friend of mine, Speech from Arrested Development, I talk about him on the channel. He had a record that blew up in Namibia in Africa, but because the infrastructure wasn't built, he could not collect royalties, but yet they kept playing it on radio stations in Namibia. Even Shazam I don't know what the capital of Namibia is, but even Shazam will show that people are Shazamming the song, but because there aren't agencies there, there's no way they can collect. So, Demode, how do you get your money from the U.S. to where you are in a third world country? if you are in a third world country, right, that doesn't have infrastructure, they're going to have to send it to you directly, but you're going to have to do a deal, a sub-publishing deal or a collection deal in the States and have them direct the money overseas to your country. And then they'll charge a percentage for it, just like that. All right. Thank you for Copyright Explain. It accelerated my creative business IQ by years. I mean, yeah, man, you know, I only do Copyright Explain because if I can find it, I'll put it on the channel. Just Blaze made a comment years ago. I've been looking for it, but I can't find it. That when he did Jay Electronica's Exhibit A, he said that he would do more business with independents only if they had their business together. And I would do more business with independents too. It's just hard to when business isn't together. Because, mind you, if I was Just Blaze, I love the independent artists. They had an independent record label. They didn't want to get signed to a major, but yet I did a beat. They paid me for it, and I wanted to produce a royalty. Who's going to keep the books on the royalties to keep paying me my royalty? Possibly nobody. So that's what he means. Things like that. You know what I mean? Keeping up with the money. DSP God, how to get my music to a TV. I don't know. How do you get your music to a TV? I'm just joking with you. Do TV supervisors use public services, Spotify? Yeah, they use Spotify to find new music material. Yeah, they do. They use Spotify all the time. Willie Will NTFR. Check your phone, please. Willie, put your question in the chat. There's not only you texting me, there's other people texting me on the line too. Man, okay, hold on. I don't even know. I don't know who you man. I don't know if I'm not going to say your name because you got a username here. But yeah, Madam President, that's why I like you. You are about your business, but you are truly fair. Sometimes more than fair. Your words are precious and advice is appreciated. Thank you. Mr. McGlory, TV folks have their own versions of shenanigans. The biggest problem is the renaming. Oh, yeah, man. So that's what I meant by exclusive and non-exclusive. The non-exclusive libraries will rename your stuff. So let's say if your song is I Love You, it'll be I Love You 1-487. And they'll rename it, and then they will collect the publishing on I Love You 1-487. And that'll be a totally separate work from I Love You, the original work that you wrote. So they'll do an underlying, it's complicated, man. They'll do an underlying publishing deal on that. That's why supervisors don't even want, once they see all them numbers associated with the song, they're like, oh, I know this is a non-exclusive library, and they retitled the work. Retitles are not cool, okay? So you don't want to deal with that. That's why you want to deal with a reputable company. All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions, and I'm going to get out of here, all right? If I have music fit for certain established artists, enough for an LP, is the best way to do this. The best way to do this is getting hold of the respective agents for these artists. Yeah, I mean, Z-Man, that's a call. I'm not gonna. I have strategies to help you get your music to certain artists. Now, let me tell you something. Discretion, carefulness. But I can show you how to get your music to these certain artists that you want. I've done it for people all the time. I believe I've done it for Star. I will tell you, but you got to be ready, because you only get, now this time, you really only get one shot with this. If you miss and you shoot this high, you're out of there. They're like, oh, wait a minute. I heard about you before. So the next time you shoot your shot, you got to be ready. So I'm not going to talk about that on the channel on live. What will be all the companies a record label will have to register with? A record label just had, in America, A record label just needs Sound Exchange, PPL for the UK component, and that's it. Cause see, record labels don't collect mechanical royalties and all that stuff like they used to back in the day. Everything's digital and everything's already allocated now. So you really only just collect the money that comes in from streaming. So you sign up with Sound Exchange to get your sound recording performance royalties. You sign up with PPL in the UK to get your sound recording performance royalties, and that's about it. Other than that, everything that comes to you comes to you. Perilous Records, is there a way to copyright a whole catalog for one? No, it's not. You're gonna max out something like 20 albums. No, you're gonna max out at 10 songs. Yeah, man, Z-Man, book a call. Yes, I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Star, like I told Star about this method, but man, you gotta be ready to shoot your shot. All right, man. Look, I've been in here for 90 minutes, giving straight up hardcore game. I don't know if I'm gonna make this a weekly thing or a monthly thing. I don't know. Sometimes I gotta use my information with discretion. But as long as you ask the questions, I will answer them. If you text me 47029, actually I don't. This is a different camera, so I don't know where I'm pointing. But if you text me 47, am I out of the way? 47? No, I'm in the way. 470-291-5767. I'm pointing at the screen. There's no number here, but it's all over the channel. You can text me there. Put your number in the phone. I use Ryan Leslie's super phone. That is not a fake link. Just tap the link. You'll actually get the free guide that's on the screen right now. If you put your information in, and then you get discounts on calls. Like I give out like birthday discounts on calls. So every month I give out a birthday discount. So, but anyway, that's just some hint game. But anyway, I will see you all when I get back on. Again, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do this thing weekly, and then we're gonna do it again. If you love what is going on, please hit the like button. And then I will see you all later. All right, everybody. Peace.